Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Conflict Chronicles. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most devastating developments in the ongoing Ukraine-Russia conflict. Russia has carried out its largest airstrike in months, unleashing a massive barrage of 120 missiles and 90 drones. This attack targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure, leaving significant portions of the country without power and tragically claiming several lives. The scale of destruction is immense, with explosions reported across major regions, including Kyiv, Odessa, and Mykolaiv. This coordinated assault has not only plunged Ukraine further into crisis, but also raised the stakes for both sides as winter approaches. Let's break down what happened, how Ukraine is responding, and the global implications of this unprecedented escalation. To understand the gravity of this attack, let's take a closer look at what unfolded. In the early hours of Sunday, Russia launched one of its most coordinated and extensive assaults since the war began nearly 3 years ago. Utilizing a mix of 120 missiles and 90 drones, including Iranian-made Shaheds, Russia targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure in a calculated effort to destabilize civilian life. The strikes were reported across the country, with major explosions in Kyiv, Odessa, and Mykolaiv, among other regions. In Mykolaiv alone, 2 people lost their lives, and 6 others, including children, were injured. Power was completely knocked out in several areas, leaving communities in darkness and further straining Ukraine's energy grid. Ukraine's state energy operator, Ukrenergo, immediately announced emergency power cuts, with outages planned across the country to manage the damage. The attacks also prompted Poland, a NATO member, to scramble its air force as a precaution, highlighting the regional ripple effects of Russia's escalation. This assault marks a continuation of Russia's strategy to cripple Ukraine's energy systems, a tactic that has led to rolling blackouts and hardship for millions of civilians. As Ukraine braces for the cold winter months, the timing of these strikes couldn't be more critical. Now, let's explore how the international community has responded to this latest escalation. Global reactions. The international community has swiftly condemned Russia's latest attacks on Ukraine. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called the strikes on civilian infrastructure unacceptable and a violation of international humanitarian law, demanding an immediate end to such actions. French President Emmanuel Macron also weighed in, stating that Vladimir Putin has no intention of pursuing peace and is instead escalating the conflict. Macron's remarks echo the sentiments of many world leaders who view this attack as a deliberate attempt to intensify the war as winter looms. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen reiterated the EU's unwavering support for Ukraine, pledging further assistance to repair energy infrastructure and help Ukrainians endure the harsh winter. "Ukraine can count on us," she declared, emphasizing the importance of international solidarity in the face of these attacks. On the U.S. front, outgoing President Joe Biden reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening Ukraine's defenses during its remaining time in office. However, questions remain about how the incoming Trump administration will approach Ukraine. President-elect Trump has previously expressed skepticism about the scale of U.S. military aid, raising concerns about future support. Meanwhile, Poland, a NATO member directly affected by the conflict's proximity, scrambled its air force in response to the escalating situation. This precautionary move underscores the growing tension and the potential for the war to spill over into neighboring regions. As global leaders denounce Russia's actions, Ukraine's leadership is pushing forward, determined to recover and protect its people. Let's now look at how Ukraine is responding to this latest wave of attacks. Ukraine's response. Despite the scale of the devastation, Ukraine has demonstrated remarkable resilience in responding to this latest assault. President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that Ukrainian air defenses successfully intercepted 140 incoming air targets, including drones and missiles. This remarkable feat highlights the critical role of Ukraine's air defense systems in mitigating the impact of Russia's attacks. However, the challenges remain immense. The energy grid has sustained severe damage, with power outages affecting millions across the country. Ukraine's state energy operators have implemented emergency power cuts in Kyiv and other regions to stabilize the grid. Energy Minister German Galushchenko described the situation as a massive attack on our energy system, underscoring the urgency of the crisis. In response to the ongoing threat, Ukraine has renewed its calls for Western allies to bolster its air defense capabilities. Advanced systems are desperately needed to counter these large-scale assaults and protect critical infrastructure. Zelensky has also emphasized the importance of long-range weapons to neutralize Russian launch sites and prevent future strikes. As winter approaches, these attacks pose an even greater risk to civilian life. With temperatures dropping, restoring energy and ensuring a stable power supply have become top priorities for the Ukrainian government. International support will be essential to help Ukraine rebuild and strengthen its defenses against future escalations. Broader implications. This massive assault on Ukraine's energy infrastructure carries significant implications for the ongoing conflict. For Russia, the attack is part of a calculated strategy to undermine Ukraine's resilience by targeting civilian infrastructure critical to daily life. By plunging entire regions into darkness and disrupting energy supplies, Moscow hopes to weaken Ukrainian morale and force concessions on the battlefield or in future negotiations. However, Ukraine's response demonstrates its determination to resist. The successful interception of a large number of Russian drones and missiles highlights the effectiveness of its current defenses, though the sheer volume of attacks underscores the urgent need for more advanced air defense systems. On the international stage, this attack has drawn further scrutiny of Russia's conduct in the war, with growing calls to classify such actions as war crimes. The targeting of civilian infrastructure directly violates international humanitarian law and has galvanized Ukraine's allies to reaffirm their support. Russia's escalation comes at a time when its forces are gaining momentum on the battlefield, with reports of advances in eastern Ukraine. Compounding the challenge is the involvement of North Korean troops in the Kursk region, adding pressure to Ukraine's stretched defenses. The attack also raises concerns about the broader geopolitical consequences. With Poland scrambling its air force and NATO closely monitoring the situation, the potential for the conflict to spill over into neighboring countries remains a constant threat. Closing thoughts. This latest assault on Ukraine's energy infrastructure is a grim reminder of the human cost of this ongoing war. Russia's deliberate targeting of civilian utilities represents an escalation in its strategy, aiming to weaken Ukraine's resolve as the harsh winter approaches. Despite this, Ukraine continues to demonstrate resilience, intercepting a significant number of incoming threats and rallying international support to repair and defend its critical infrastructure. The implications of these attacks go beyond Ukraine's borders. The risk of the conflict spilling into neighboring regions, the involvement of North Korean troops, and the potential for a shift in U.S. policy under a new administration all add layers of complexity to an already volatile situation. The next few weeks will be pivotal, not only for Ukraine's ability to withstand these challenges, but also for the global response to Russia's increasingly aggressive tactics. Thank you for watching Conflict Chronicles. If you found this update insightful, please like and subscribe to stay informed on the latest developments in this critical conflict. Your support helps ensure these stories are heard. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.